This episode will talk about the trial period. Many of our listeners are currently in the process of trying to find the right co-founder. But what do you do when you suddenly feel you might have found that perfect match? Many of you might be hesitant to set up a shareholders agreement right away. You first want to have some assurance that this is going to work out in the end. A trial period can be the answer. But what is a trial period? And how are we going to do this? And when do we know we're ready to take the next step? Today, I asked two founders that found their co-founder via the co-founder matchmaking speed date to share their journey on how they went from that first date to an actual co-founder partnership. Welcome, Christina, founder of ContourLab, and welcome, Tim, founder of Sumo. All right, Christina, can you tell us a little bit more about ContourLab and your role within ContourLab?
First of all, thank you for having me. Yes, I'm Christina. I'm founder and CEO of ContourLab, which is a fashion tech company. We help fashion companies to serve their customers better by understanding them better. And we do that through a fashion passport, which allows them to really hyper-personalize all the shopping experience that they offer their end customer. The fashion passport holds all information around the body, the physical appearance, their style, preferences, what they bought in the past, but also online behavioral signals. And that way, by understanding their end consumer better, they can also offer better experiences, whether that's online with a more simplified product discovery, but also on the shop floor as a supporting tool for their shop advisors. Imagine customer service or even hyper segmenting your email marketing or advertising campaigns. And I think the better you understand them, the better the experience will be. And then in the end, it will be more self-confidence, less returns. Everything will get better also from a sustainability perspective.
Okay, thank you. And Tim, can you tell us a little bit more about Sumo and what your role is within Sumo?
Yeah, nice to be here, by the way. So I'm Tim, I'm the co-founder and CEO of Sumo. Sumo helps freight forwarders, these are the travel agents of logistics, to quote faster and become more profitable because the current process of making quotes is actually very complex. If you need to ship chemicals from Antwerp, let's say, to Singapore, you need to take into account a lot of parameters. You have a lot of subcontractors that offer rates in different formats. And we actually make this process with AI. We extract the logic and make it very easy for them to create quotations.
Okay, nice. Totally different sectors, but both of you have found your co-founder via the co-founder matchmaking event, was it, at the time? Now we have a co-founder community. Christina, maybe I'll start with you. What was your incentive to go find a co-founder? Did you really need a co-founder, or what was your motivation to subscribe to the event?
Well, I'm a marketeer at heart, so I didn't have any technology experience. I did work at Microsoft, and after that I worked in fashion for a long time, so I really knew and still know the industry very well. But of course, if you want to build a successful tech company, you cannot do it alone. I'm a heavy believer of a complementary team, but I'm not a person that can code. So I knew from the start that my best chances of success was finding a co-founder that was also complementary in skills, but also, of course, in personality. I also knew that a team is very important to fundraise. So it was clear from the start that I wasn't going to do this alone, but I was going to find a business partner.
You were looking for a CTO specifically.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that was very clear. Tim, from what I heard, you joined the co-founder event even 2 times. Why was that? You weren't certain at the first time?
Actually, I joined 4 times.
Okay.
Yeah, I had some entrepreneurial experience before. With Vlog, we were in the early IMEC cohorts, like from 2011 to 2022. And then when I left Vlog, I wanted to start something new, but I did it previously as a solo founder. And then I wanted to do it with someone else as well. But for me, it was difficult because I'm semi-technical and semi-business. So in the beginning, I was actually more looking for someone that I could collaborate with very well, less either technical or business.
Yeah.
And then I met Martijn in the edition of at the end of 24.
Yeah.
Martijn is more a business profile. We knew each other from the IMEC iStart community,
Yeah.
so that generated a lot of trust.
Yeah.
And then later, when we actually, we worked on an idea before, but then we pivoted, and then it became clear we were missing some more deep technical
Yeah.
knowledge. So we joined again at the end of 25, and then we met Jeff,
Yeah.
with whom we started Sumo in November.
Yeah, so you actually both find a CTO via the co-founder event. Okay,
Yes.
that's nice to hear, because that are the most, or a lot of people are looking for CTO on our community. So it's nice to hear that they are there to find as well. Christina, how did you prepare for the co-founder event? So you probably had some meetings with several potential co-founders. Did you prepare for those meetings?
I definitely did. I knew that the meetings that or the calls that we were going to get were really short. It's only 12 minutes.
Yeah.
And I did my research up front because I had a full agenda. I don't even remember how many people I matched with, but it was from beginning till end. So I looked them all up. I digged into social media, LinkedIn, everything that I could find. I had kind of a view on what types of people in terms of skills I was looking for. I wasn't sure if it was going to be AI or more, a data scientist or a software engineer. So that was quite open, but I knew what everyone was doing, and I wanted to know upfront who did what in the past. And I kind of already did like a little assessment before, but then of course I let my intuition and feelings speak during the conversations to maybe go further or not.
Yeah. So you were the one with an ID, and you met Ilias on the co-founder event. Do you know from Ilias what was his motivation to join the event? Did he had an ID himself, or
he
how
was
did that
actually
go?
open to jump into the entrepreneurial journey from his expertise, and he would love to do it in a sector or an industry that wasn't really known to him.
Yeah.
I think fashion is quite far from the AI spectrum, let's say.
Yeah.
So he was actually very fascinated in jumping into something that he really didn't know, but could bring his talent and his skills to the table.
And when you had the meeting with Ilias, like the first minutes, did you already feel like this might be a match, or did it grow organically?
I mean, it's the same with speed dates, I think. You only have just a couple of minutes to feel if there's a potential match or not. I think from the moment one, there was already like a nice vibe between us. And we started talking, and we understood each other quite soon and fast. And I think there, it's most of the time your intuition that speaks, that says to you, okay, maybe you should meet again or not. And I think those 12 minutes were like ending in a flash, but we immediately said before the call ended abruptly, like, okay, let's talk again. We have each other on LinkedIn. We should grab coffee soon, and so we'll reach out after the speed date.
Okay. How did that go for you, Tim? You were together with Martijn on the speed date. Were you like in the same room? How did you organize that?
No, so we split up. So we said, okay, if we split up, we can see more people. So you only have a couple of hours and several 12-minute meetings.
Yeah.
And actually, it was Martijn who had a discussion with Jeff. I had some discussions with other people.
Yeah.
And then, because it's only 12 minutes, you have a couple of follow-up coffees and meetings afterward.
And with how many people did you follow up afterwards?
I think that was 3.
3 in total from both of your conversations.
Yes. Yeah. So I had two conversations, and then we had Martijn had one with Jeff.
Yeah.
But with Jeff, it was the best click.
Yeah.
Not only the other people were also technical, but Jeff had the same. It's the same ambitions as us, the same goals, same effort, more or less, that he would invest in the beginning as well. So it was a good match.
And so what did you do? You went for a coffee with 3 people? You met 3 people in person?
Yes,
And
yes.
then you made a decision after those meetings?
Yeah, so during that meeting, me and Martin, we already had more or less clear what we were looking for.
Yeah.
So we put on paper, we actually made an internal document, like what does this person need to comply with, more or less. And then also we written down from the previous year of collaborating, like what do we aim to achieve, what do we aim to invest, each of us, not only money but also in time, what do we expect from it, and we made a co-founder memorandum basically. So we put that on paper, and after the first meeting, when we were like, okay, Jeff, I think there's a click. We want to go to the next step. Let's go to the trial period. Then we also shared this memorandum with him. He actually found it very interesting because it gives you, it's not a legal document. It's just 2 or 3 A4 documents with a couple of lines on it, but you know what to expect from each other. Once you go and actually found the company, you know under what conditions you will do it, or under what conditions you agreed to do it.
And Jeff was still allowed to add things or
of course.
change things, but so you proposed him this co-founder memorandum as a basis for your trial period.
Exactly.
Okay, great. Did you do that as well, Christina?
First we had we grabbed coffee, and then it was just an informal conversation. I think it was planned for maybe an hour or 1 hour and a half. I think we spent hours talking about how he would approach it, if he agreed with my vision and so on. But then indeed we said that we wanted to work together for a while longer, so which is then of course the trial period. And it was when we agreed to go into a trial that we also said we're gonna do like this document, a founder's agreement, where we put practicalities, strategies, certain KPIs, just some, things that we wanted to make clear before, or I mean, we started already working together, but going into the trial, and also what would happen after the trial, everything was kind of put in there.
If one of our listeners is now in a trial period or is going to start a trial period with a potential co-founder, what would you say definitely should be in that founder agreement, Tim?
I think the first thing is the goals. You aim to achieve the same goals. If you have different expectations about that, that will become a problem.
Is that then goals for the period of the trial period?
We made it for the company, but actually both are very useful, I think. We also talked about shorter term goals, but for us it was achieving product market fit. Making sure that that's good before you fund the actual company. And that's,
is there a limit on timing, for example, like 3 months or 6 months where we have a trial period and then we reconsider?
I think that depends on your personal situations. So for me and Martin, we were already working part-time for quite a while, more than a year, on starting a company, and then we pivoted, of course. For Jeff, there was a clear timing, by April, basically now, we would make sure that we actually fund the company and we can start paying a minimum wage to him, because he does that full time. So that's an important part. And I think, of course, within a certain time amount, you're going to invest your time to start a company.
Commitment is something that should be already discussed in the founders agreement. Is there something that you would add still, Christina?
I did it full time, and Ilias at the beginning did not. So we had a clear structure on time spent, on if there was a wage, what the difference would be, but also in terms of equity, there were also some expectations. I think everything that is sensitive and that are most of the times the more difficult conversations, I think those things you should talk about as soon as possible and try to get them as clear and structured in a founder's agreement.
But as you say, it's not a legal document yet, so you still have the ability to change within the trial period or to discuss things in another way. Yeah.
But I think it's also interesting because to form the basis and the foundation of such a founders agreement, we discussed it. And so by discussing the topics that were in the founders agreement, you kind of get to know each other on those fronts as well, because everything that you talk about, it ends up in the agreement. But so you talk about topics that you wouldn't maybe normally do,
Mhm.
and open up those difficult conversations already early in the process, let's say.
Yeah. It's also kind of a risk, I suppose, especially when you have a CTO that joins your company in terms of IP and confidentiality. Was that something that you were thinking about as well? Maybe Christina?
Yeah, we discussed immediately that everything that he was going to do, either in the trial period or
Yeah.
after, is the IP of the company.
Yeah.
That was clear from the start. Every external thing that we did, we made sure that the IP and everything that was done for the company belonged to the company.
And with you, was there
Yeah,
also...
it's
Yeah.
the same.
Yeah.
Of course, when you start a new collaboration like with Chef, we didn't know him
Yeah.
at the beginning very well. And it's also for such a person, it's a risk. You're going to invest
Yeah.
your time. There are two other founders that already worked together for a while.
Yeah.
If it doesn't work out, yeah, of course, the IP needs to be owned by the company. But
Yeah.
if it doesn't work out, does he get something in return?
Yeah.
So we also defined, it's quite loose and it's not a legal document,
Yeah.
as I said, but a good lever and a bad lever clause. So
Okay.
let's say
Yeah.
if the product market fit is proven and it's the company would actually be valued at something, but
Yeah.
at least he would get something in return.
Yeah.
But
Even...
I'm happy that that's
Yeah.
not needed.
Yeah.
But
Indeed.
uh-huh.
Okay, maybe a tricky question.
Mhm.
But did Jeff and Ilias, in your case, get a salary during the trial period? Or how did you discuss that?
For me, it was
Yes.
clear that it's skin in the game.
Yeah.
If you really want to go for something, you have to put all in.
Yeah.
And in his position, that was mainly time because he
Yeah.
was still working.
Mhm.
Besides that, but it was dedication, effort, and time,
Mhm.
and so no guarantees. But I think that is like
Yeah.
in the core of what entrepreneurship is.
Yeah,
Mm.
indeed.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
Right.
it would just be
Yeah.
an external
Yeah,
consultant.
indeed. And then you could
Yeah.
easily as easily hire a freelancer or an
Yeah.
employee even. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Tim, what did you learn about each other during the trial periods that you maybe wouldn't have
Mhm.
learned about each other if you didn't do the trial periods?
Yeah, of course. You have a discussion from an hour, and that's not enough to actually say like, is this person going to deliver?
Yeah.
But became quite clear immediately after that Jeff picked up things.
Yeah.
We had meetings together. We both learned a lot about logistics, and by early January, when he delivered the first prototypes, it became quite clear to me that not only he could do that, but also on the product market fit side, because we were constantly showing these to customers that we're also on the right track.
Yeah.
So yeah, and that's when we applied to IMEC
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah. Christina, how did you go from the trial period to a formal collaboration? Was it like one meeting where you discussed everything, or did it build up gradually?
Yeah, it was a continuous collaboration because the trial period for us, we set to do it between like 6 and 8 months.
Okay.
And then if all went well, I mean, we would just continue, but we also applied for IMEC iStart in, I think it was the trial even.
Yeah.
And then of course, when we got in, it needed to be formalized. So for
Yeah.
us, that was the most logic step to do. I was operating in my own society, let's say,
Mhm.
and so we had to create a BV where he would then join as an official co-founder with equity, with IMEC iStart also at the cap table. So
Yeah.
for us, it was kind of organic. But even if we wouldn't have, for example, gotten into IMEC iStart, we would just at some point, indeed, 6 to 8 months, say, this still feels good. We still want to do it. Okay, let's do it and formalize it. So
Yeah. Another tough question. Let's say you're in a trial period and it's not going well. How do you communicate, or what do you do? What would you suggest to founders in that situation?
It's like you mean it's not going well, you
Yeah.
need to make an end to
Yeah,
it. Huh?
yeah, yeah.
I think everyone will feel it.
Yeah.
That's undeniable. I think if they don't feel it's definitely not the
Yeah.
right person as well. Yeah, and you just pick up the conversation. I think
Yeah.
that's with any hard conversation, you need to do them.
But there's no strings attached in the trial period. It's
I think you have to agree from the start to be transparent and honest,
Yeah.
and don't waste anyone's time, not
Yeah.
time of yourself and not their time either.
Mhm.
I had it actually a few times also before I met Ilias, that I was in a trial period with someone and that it just either didn't click on a personal level, or we just didn't see things the same way. And then you just have to, once you start doubting,
Yeah.
and see red
You have to move
flags, you have to
fast.
move fast. You
Yeah.
don't have the time or the luxury to wait.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's in both interests that it
Yes,
happens
definitely.
fast. Yeah, indeed. Okay, we're already reaching the end of our episode. So I would like to end with a last question to both of you. Do you have one final advice for listeners that are now currently in the phase of trying to find their perfect match, their perfect co-founder?
Yeah, the team is everything. I think if you can find someone who you can have a good collaboration with, that's more valuable in most cases than the product that you have at that moment. Because in a lot of situations, founders are quite protective of their idea, while it still needs to be proven, and you actually need that team to do it.
Yeah,
So,
and it might still pivot as well. Christina, what would be your final advice?
I would say that being in a business together as co-founders is kind of like a marriage. And sometimes, well, I mean, no, you see that person more than your normal partner at home. So I would make sure that everything fits nicely, that you collaborate well together, but also that you become friends, you can have fun, that you can communicate clearly, because sometimes, as we all know, it gets quite stressful, and you have to be able to perform well together also under stress. You have to learn how to fight properly, and I would definitely advise to get all the difficult topics out as soon as you can. Don't avoid any difficult conversations. The more honest and transparent you can be from the beginning, the more likely I think that you run into like bad surprises afterwards. I think that would be my takeaway.
Thank you. I think very valuable advice. So thank you, Christina, and thank you, Tim, for
Thank you.
joining us
welcome.
today and sharing your experience.
Thank you.
There's just so much to learn from listening to people that went through it themselves. So I'm very grateful that we've had the opportunity to learn from Christina and Tim. Thank you. For the founders that are now still in the middle of a trial period or are still looking for that one person to start working on something together, we wish you the best of luck in your own personal journey. In our next episode, we'll talk about building company culture from day one, an often underestimated part of co-founder partnership. In the early days, founders have a big influence on the company culture. The habits you create now often stay with the company as it grows, and the co-founder you choose today will have an impact on the company's DNA. That's why we invited Anne, founder of Yuma Health, and Robin from Admore to discuss this topic in our next episode. Hope to see you again next time.